Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the FearFans podcast. I'm your host, Don Elmy, and with me is my co-host, Nick Millet. And with joining us is Joe, Tom, Rosie, and we have a new guest joining us today. Yeah, so state your name for the first time. If it's your first time here, you state your name.
My name is Rose Haddle. I am the founder of To the Grave and Back and Friday Frighteners.
Oh, nice.
Which of course me and Rosie work with.
All right.
I don't think I know you.
You don't know this lady. You don't know her. Who the hell is she? Where'd you find her?
Oh, here. Here we got Thomas joining us.
Oh, Thomas.
He's got a cool
audio.
I think I said that
before. Here. Here we go. Hey, Nikki.
I was just talking with her a few minutes ago.
Here.
She was
yeah,
here.
she's audio calling me on through Facebook. Nikki.
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me? And Sitting
Stop,
Ducks and
Jeremy.
Hannah
Oh.
and Leon and Santi.
Hey, hey everyone.
Hey, Sitting Ducks. Okay,
Hey,
yeah,
Hannah's
I understand.
Sitting ducks.
Okay. Oh,
I don't know who
hey,
that is.
Hannah. Good. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let's see, and Leon, good to see you as always. Yep. So we have got a great show for you guys tonight. We are covering a classic, and this is one of the biggest, one of the most disturbing films of the slasher genre, and it is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, released in 1974. So this is in October 1974. So this will be the 50th year.
That's right.
That makes me
Oh,
feel
wow.
so old.
Hard,
Yeah.
I
to,
feel really old.
hard to believe.
And it came out a year before I was born, so that means I'll be 49 in actually a week and one day.
I'm not the
Wow.
oldest one.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank
Yep,
you.
happy early birthday.
See ya, Hannah.
Thank you.
Hey. Yeah, so let you guys know that Hannah is a friend of ours who we had with us during this Sunday when we watched Godzilla -1 in theaters. It was Nick's first time seeing it and my second time. So yeah, still as great as the first.
The first time for you to see it in black and white, though. So that was
Oh, yeah.
that movie. Definitely the best of the franchise.
Oh yeah, it is arguably the greatest Godzilla movie of all time. And also, I found out last week that it was now nominated for an Academy Award for Best Visual Effects, and this is the first time, to my knowledge, that a Godzilla movie has been nominated for an Oscar.
Yep.
Maybe the best in the franchise, but that's opposed to the one we reviewed.
Yeah. And I think Nikki's just joining. Here we go.
Wow.
Here.
We only need two
Oh,
more people, and we got the Brady Bunch.
Hey,
Oh, wait, that would make
Somebody
me
else.
Alice. I'm in the middle.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
You're Alice. Congratulations,
yeah.
Tom. You're Alice.
Who am
That's right,
I?
I'm dating Sam. and Butcher.
Oh man.
I don't
But
remember.
to answer your question, Santi, yeah, unfortunately, Jill and Kate have fallen ill. Like I think they have some kind of a flu or cold, so hopefully they get better real soon.
Yeah.
And
Kate
one of the
still
better
made it to
Texas
my live feed earlier,
Yeah.
though, I will say.
well, hopefully she'll join us.
Commend her on that.
So,
Hi,
yep,
Nikki.
Leon, this is
Hey.
hey. So
Hey.
Leon, yes, this is arguably the greatest of the franchise because this film, with its success, it has spawned a whole bunch of sequels and reboots,
Yep.
and also a video game that recently came out. And
Yep.
let's see,
Yeah, oh my god, I so want to play that. It was actually, I was on the PS4 station looking at obviously the games, because my young son, he's nearly 15 this year. He was wanting the wrestling games because he's right into the wrestling, and
Yeah.
I was like a big child at Christmas because I was like, oh my god, I was like, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, yes. So I went on to
haven't played
YouTube
it.
and I started watching like the gameplay, and I was like, that's so what I would play. So I just love the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Don't get me wrong, I don't like all the films. I think some of them are quite no good.
I'm so
But
white.
I do like some of them.
I think
That's great. Yeah, the
one.
video game. I'm planning on getting one day on the PS5 myself.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hope
Good.
at
It'd
some
be fun
point
to
it does
play
get
or check it
released
out.
on. Yeah,
But like the remake of the original one was actually more gory than the original one was.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, it was.
Yeah.
That was their
They-
intention.
I mean, they changed little things here and there about picking up the woman who, on the road instead of picking up the guy, and
Yeah.
That's right. And
She shot herself.
you're talking about the 2003 remake with Jessica Biel, and also it had Arlie Ermy.
Yeah, that was the best. I would say that was the good one, the 2003. I could play a part in it every time I watch it. I can actually talk. It's so
See?
funny because the amount of times that I have seen it. I like the beginning as well. The 2003, the beginning, the original, and I was actually a fan of the 22 one. The one where it's the two ladies and the lady gets the head chopped off at the end.
Oh
I
yeah,
think there's
that's the latest one that was released on Netflix a year or so ago. Yeah, like where the head chopped off at the end. Yeah, I remember that. It's like it's like I can understand what it was trying to do, but still not on par with some of the sequels I've seen, in my opinion.
I'm just
But,
surprised this one made it to the theaters
Oh yeah.
after all the trouble they went through. The budget running out at one point,
Oh yeah.
and then them getting tied in with a production company or whatever it was that was owned by the mafia. And the mafia
Dang.
had their hands
know about
in
that.
everything back in the 70s.
Huh.
So these guys thought they were expecting royalty checks. They filmed this movie in 32 days.
Roughly.
And they were out there in Texas in the heat in August, and some of them didn't change their clothes and stayed in character and all of that, and it got pretty bad and rough for them. And they were expecting royalty checks because they all had an interest in the thing, but their interest was like an interest of an interest because of that guy in the mafia that owned, bailed them out during editing.
wow.
Oh wow.
When the money ran out.
Oh yeah. You never want to mess with money that you borrow from the mafia. That's for sure.
Well, it was, but being such a low budget film, it sure did turn a lot of heads and became one hell of a cult classic.
Yes.
And just the past weekend, me and Nick rewatched it, and this was his first time seeing it in Blu-ray. So
Yeah, I've seen the movie plenty of times, but it was first time seeing Blu-ray, and you gotta love the technology they make with it, because it truly made it look brand new in a way.
Oh, they did. Yeah, they totally they improved the quality of the visuals, of the audio, everything. It just sounded so sharp. It was great.
And you can actually go visit the
Robert.
house. What's up, Robert? Robert. You can actually go
Good to
visit
see
the
you.
house that it was filmed at too. I think they made it into a bed and breakfast or something now.
Oh my gosh,
Or
that'd be
something
awesome.
like
Right.
that.
Yeah, it's some kind of a restaurant establishment from what I've been told.
Yep.
And
that's
when
what
you
I've
wander
been told,
around-
restaurant now.
And you look at the house or you look at the building, you can still see, when you go into certain rooms, you're like, oh my God, yeah, this is the room that had the chicken feathers all over the floor. And it's just because it still looks the same.
Yeah.
It was at one point a residence when they originally filmed it. So someone actually did live there at that time.
And they made it look like that, like all run down and nasty and everything. And then they had to put it back at the end.
Yeah, they did do a good job as far as set design to make that house look incredibly creepy. And also, what's most terrifying about this film is that everybody keeps saying it's based on a true story, but that's not entirely true. It's actually inspired by the actions that were committed by this man. By this man
from Plainsville.
Yep, Ed Gein, the butcher of Plainfield. This man had
that's exactly what he was called.
Yep, he was responsible for at least 2 murders that they know of. He may have been responsible for more, but it's hard to tell because he had been specializing in grave robbing. He's been stealing all kinds of corpses, and he's been making all kinds of furniture out of them, which they also put into the movie. That aspect. And
then he wore the skins sometimes,
Yeah.
like they
Used
showed
them as-
you in the movie.
Also, the organs and bones, using them for like
Nice.
parts of furniture, that kind of stuff.
and he supposedly ate the stuff, and some of those bodies, that were freshly buried, he'd dig them up and he'd turn it into hamburger or whatever, and he was giving that out like for free or something, when you go to visit some of these
That's
people
so
in
weird
town.
and creepy.
Yeah,
I wish
it's-
somebody ate it if it was free.
Which is where they got the whole
Yeah.
story of the chili from too, like in the second one, I
Yeah.
think it was.
Well, you
Yeah,
think
Billy-
about it, 'cause- go ahead, Don. Go ahead.
here, Billy, you're absolutely right. This Ed Gein served not only as the inspiration for Leatherface, but also the inspiration for Norman Bates from Psycho and Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs. So
Right,
these three,
because-
these three horror villains borrowed a little bit from Ed Gein. Yeah, like as far
A
in
lot.
this case with Leatherface, but not just the grave robbing, but also the mask that Leatherface wears is made out of the different faces of his victims. Like he cuts like the face off of some of his victims and like stitches them together in a mask.
Well,
You gotta wonder.
also the part where they had like the female or the corpses up wherever it was in that one room, like grandma and grandpa up there,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
also inspired by Ed Gein, because when his mom died, he sealed off the entire room, and eventually I think he robbed the grave and put her in there, and that's where it was and he was talking to her a lot, and that's where the character from Psycho came from.
Yeah.
Is it
Yes,
Mhm.
Norman Bates.
Ed Gein talking to his mother like she was still alive?
Norman.
And it just shows you, like from a criminal psychology point of view, what grief can do to someone. I mean, Ed Gein, when you look at his life and the backstory of Ed Gein, he had a pretty rough life with his mum. His mum was pretty, brutal with Ed Gein, and you just think he just wanted his mum's approval and love. And obviously, when she died, it just shows how it's tipped him. And like, I actually really, I shouldn't say I really like Ed Gein, because that sounds so wrong on so many levels. But if I had to say, if I had one favourite killer, it would be Ed Gein.
You gotta
Because
wonder if he
it-
was modeled after Buffalo Bill. Did he ever stand in front of a mirror and tuck his stuff in and have the robe on? The visual came into my head as soon as you said
Yeah,
Buffalo Bill.
you just have the
Are you
dog
talking
and the
about a
Adam
family
and the
reunion or a
team and the
movie?
other.
That guy was
You just
sure
think-
a psycho.
You
really
do
was.
He
think
was a total psycho.
And he did what he did for a very long time before he
Even
got
past-
caught.
even when he became an adult, he still carried on.
No,
He didn't leave
To
home.
this day, those people in that town don't like talking about him.
Goodbye,
Yeah.
horse.
I don't
his-
blame him.
Where his house stood and the property is just an empty lot.
Yeah, I've heard it was.
I haven't been there personally yet, but that's what I've been told.
Hmm.
That it's just an empty lot.
And I know his grave. I mean, I know it's now more or less kind of an unmarked grave, because I know he had a gravestone at one point, but over the years it was heavily vandalized. So like people would chip at the tombstone just to get either a piece of it for their personal possessions, or they just wanted to damage it and think that they didn't want people to know where.
Well-
There were various different reasons, but mainly it was because of what he did.
He
So
got
now
off.
today, I mean, his grave is more or less unmarked. I think the remaining parts of the gravestone, I believe, are
I'm sure Ed
now in a
Gein's house
museum.
is burned down.
Well, he got off easy because, it was burned down. It
Yeah, it
was.
was.
It was burnt down to
Yes.
the ground. He got off easy because he didn't really spend his time in prison. He spent his life until the day he died in a mental hospital in
Yep.
Madison, Wisconsin.
That's
Hopefully
right.
it was a state mental hospital, because I know how they treated people there. So
Oh yeah.
So let's hope it was a state hospital.
Yeah,
Mm.
I think Mendota is.
Oh,
I
yes.
lived right next door to that property where he was
Wow.
Oh wow.
Did you?
for a
Seriously?
short time. Yeah.
Oh,
It's not very cut off. I mean, the Mendota Mental Health Hospital or whatever it's called today, I think it's called some kind of anyway, CWC or something.
Central Wisconsin Center.
Yeah, Central Wisconsin Center.
Oh,
But
I see.
back in the day, it was Mendota Mental Health Hospital, and they had all different kinds of buildings, and this thing's been around for years. I mean, the buildings are supposedly have paranormal activity in them.
Are they still there?
Yes, it's still in
You are so
operation.
lucky.
Yeah, it is. I just looked it up. It's called the Mendota Mental Health Institute. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's still in operation today, but there are a lot.
But
of
it's actually the whole area is now called Central Wisconsin. What did you say?
Central Wisconsin Center.
Yeah, Central Wisconsin Center, CWC.
I think he was
They've
sentenced to
got
jail.
like an adolescence treatment
Jail.
unit up there, all kinds of different buildings.
But if I'm not
see.
mistaken, the adult side is still called Mendota.
Correct. He was sentenced to jail, Rodney Alcala, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but he spent
Rodney
his
Alcala,
life
yeah.
until the day he died in Mendota Mental Health Hospital.
Right. Man, yeah. So they
He
really
actually died in a rocking chair. He died in his sleep in a rocking chair. A guy came in to check on him, and he died of a heart attack.
Isn't he the talk show killer? The talk show serial killer?
And this guy
The dating
contacted
show?
me.
I think Billy's referring to that the prequel Leatherface, which is like the prequel to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but is also consistent with the Texas Chainsaw timeline introduced in the 2013 film. Yeah, I think that's what he's referring to. But yeah, this the franchise itself. I mean, yeah, the franchise itself had surprisingly big names in it. Like in the second film, there was Dennis Hopper, who played like the uncle of two of the characters in the first film. And let's see. Oh yeah, and the second film had Viggo Mortensen, who had was known for mainly known for Lord of the Rings. Yeah, yeah. And
Or that tornado movie. What was the tornado movie he was in?
Twister.
Or
No.
a different movie.
Yeah, I'll look it up.
Here's your answer, by the way, Rosie.
Oh yeah,
Huh?
And the fourth
about Rodney. Sorry, Don. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was saying that the fourth film had. Well, I was actually surprised to learn this. There was early roles for both Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Yep.
I was
I only watched the original. Texas Chainsaw Massacre and the second one. The second one that was made.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, great. I was about to say, stay away from the fourth film. It's horrible.
Yeah,
But I haven't watched anything past that, and I don't usually like watching remakes.
Believe it or not, for all the people will say about remakes of certain films, I must admit, when you look at certain remakes of certain films, you say to yourself, that's a load of junk. But when you watch the 2003 one, the beginning, and as Don helped me with, the one from on Netflix, it's actually quite good. But out of three, I much prefer the 2003 because the 2003 one was really, really good. And the guy that was in Full Metal Jacket as a drill sergeant.
Yes, the drill sergeant.
Arlie Ermy.
Arlie Ermy. Yes.
Yeah.
That
he
that
was
loud
he
voice
was.
of his.
Oh, I know.
How tall are you, Brian?
Hidalgo.
Really? I didn't know they stack shit that high.
Billy. Hidalgo. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, Billy, I'm Scottish. Yeah.
And he was perfect for that part. He was absolutely perfect for that part.
He was brilliant.
Yeah, that's because in real life he's a former drill sergeant and he improvised about half his dialogue for that.
I meant in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the remake. He was perfect.
Oh, right.
Well, he fit
he
right in.
Well, not only just the remake, of course, he reprised that role in the New Beginning sequel too.
Yeah.
So He was good at
Oh,
it.
like I thought you were
Yes,
talking
in
about
Full Metal Jacket, he was perfect too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
Oh,
thought you were talking about
he
Full
was
Metal
awesome.
Jacket. Yeah, I thought you were talking about Full Metal Jacket, but yeah, he was great. He was perfect in Texas Chainsaw Massacre as well.
Yeah.
Infamous
Yeah,
Michael
it
Bay.
was.
Really? I didn't know that. I know
Yeah, it
he is,
was.
though. Michael Bay.
Now, I
Yeah.
will say this. What's actually interesting about the remake also compared to the original was, interestingly enough, because they wanted to pay more homage to the original movie, that they want to originally get Gunnar Hansen, the original actor who played Leatherface in the, in the 1974 film, to play in this one, in the remake too. But Gunnar Hansen declined because in his mind, and I remember he said this in an interview before he passed away, but he made a good point why he declined replaying Leatherface in the remake, and that's mainly because he didn't think the remake was going to go as good as the original one. And he says, when you try to I mean, yes, there are some good remakes out there, but still, he did ask that question, like, there's no point in doing this if I already did it before, and to see that there's a remake coming out, it's like, why do you want to remake a film that had already done its job really well? So that's
Yeah.
that's
what
why he
Hollywood
wanted to be
does.
part of the remake.
Good point. Oh, here Billy is saying that Michael Bay also produced. Yeah, he did produce the remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but in
2013.
He
2003.
did all the
Yeah,
numerous
I thought
remakes.
so.
Really?
But-
Where was all the explosions?
I also say that it's because Hollywood has no imagination. I mean,
Yes.
look at the guys, look at all the people that were part of this original. They had imaginations back then.
True. Hey, you know what?
They
forgot
set
one
out
thing I
with a
forgot to do.
goal and they accomplished it
That's true. Yes.
on
They
a short,
did.
on a low
Said Gunnar
budget.
was too old.
Yes, they did their very best with what they had at the time. Oh, and I forgot to do this in the beginning. I forgot to show the trailer of Texas Chainsaw
I
Massacre.
actually have the trailer done. I have it for you.
Oh, do you? Okay,
I'm gonna play it
put it up.
I can
Please.
play it on the screen
Yeah.
for you, in fact. So hopefully it should be a copyright issue. We didn't have that with Dawn of the Dead, so hopefully we can still do the same thing.
That's
So
a trailer. That should be
Okay.
okay.
All right, let's put it
yeah,
on.
I know. Here it is, though, guys. You
Most trailers
you
are
can't go
public
without the
domain.
trailer.
What happened was true. The most bizarre and brutal series of crimes in America.
Sally, I hear something. Stop! Stop!
This is the movie that is just as real, just as close, just as terrifying as being there. Even if one of them survives, what will be left? The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. After you stop screaming, you'll start talking about it.
Poor dumb Franklin.
That
Yeah.
Bryanson production company,
Incredible.
the Bryanson, that was the mafia-owned company.
Oh,
It
yes.
was, really.
And
Yes.
Toby, yeah, that's true. I read about that. Yes.
I
And,
watched this. I got the 2 disc thing. I watched the second disc today, and they were talking about it because how they all got screwed.
Yeah, true.
No, then it would be a porn.
Man.
And they went to this guy in New York that was the head of that company, mafia dude, and he had his 2, brutes there, the big dudes, his muscle, and they didn't get squat out of it. So they had to go to court or something. I can't remember what happened, but they ended up getting the rights released back to them and some money, but not what they should have gotten.
Yeah.
Now, I would say the remake was better in some ways, but not in other ways.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm guessing that the woman that they picked up on the road was to represent the woman that got away in the original.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's what I liked in the 2022 movie was. That's what I liked in the 22 movie because they brought back the woman for 74 and to the U movie.
Oh, it was it the same actress?
It was the same actress, yeah. I didn't know that.
Sally, the actress who played Sally, yeah, Marilyn Burns.
Oh my god.
I didn't even realize that was the same woman.
I didn't know
it was. I only realised it because I like to look at the obviously who's in it. I'm quite notorious for doing that with films, so I was like, oh wow, I was like, that's amazing that they've actually brought back now. You think 1974
yes.
to 2020?
Yes, that was true.
Like,
and that's not
that was really good.
That's not the only person they brought back because they brought back John Larroquette to do the narrator again too.
Yep,
that's right.
Oh, I didn't know that.
John Larroquette, as in the guy from Night Court.
Yep, Dan Fielding.
Dan Fielding, yeah.
Oh yeah,
it was like one of his early things.
I like that guy.
Yeah. So, I wanted to bring up the director of this film, Toby Hooper, who was known for directing several different horror films, such as Funhouse, and another one of his most well-known films is Poltergeist, which was also produced by Steven Spielberg.
And Life Force.
Oh wow!
He also did Life Force. He did he did a number of the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
So apparently he had some relative that had a store on Sesame Street too back in the 80s. Mr. Hooper's store. You know, not everybody's going to get that reference because not everybody's.
Someone's asking Dawn a question. I keep saying Dawn question mark.
Oh, here somebody's asking me a question. Yes, Billy. He said he actually likes the grindhouse exploitation feel to the trailer that we just saw.
I mean, it was the 70s, so a lot of movies were made, but it also was to give that very intense feel. And I got to admit, showing the trailer on screen, did you notice, Don? It looked just as high quality as the copy you showed me. That was actually quite impressive.
That's because you just showed me the 4K quality trailer.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah,
he did the pilot for Freddy's Nightmares.
Yeah, and he directed. I mean, Toby Hooper. He's done a lot of great work, but during the last few years of his life, I was disappointed in some of his works. He wasn't really getting that great. That many good movies during the last few years of his life. Like several included Gin, Mortuary, and Crocodile. Me and Nick looked up pictures of Crocodile before, and
I remember that.
Yeah. And here's what I'm talking about. This right here. Look how ridiculous that looks.
Oh my god!
It looks like me in the morning, but yeah.
And I talked to you about it before, Don. Was that
why the fuck would you do that?
I thought he also did another he did another alligator film in the mid 70s, like 2 years after Texas Chainsaw, and that was the film Eaten Alive, 1976.
Yeah, Eaten Alive.
That's what I forgot. Robert Englund's in it.
Yes, before he was Freddy Krueger.
Oh yeah, by 10 years or so.
Yeah, this was almost 10 years, and it does say, obviously, always thought a word of note. I mean, although the film did not receive a warm reception when it was released, it has gained a cult following in its time. And with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Eaten Alive helped Hooper advance in his career, allowing him to direct his first major studio film, The Funhouse, in 1981.
That's right. And
it also opened the doors for independents to be brave enough to make their films. Because it was saying that in the documentary that I was watching today that how Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it was an independent film.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It opened the door so that more people got out of their comfort zone because these people, I don't know if it was who it was, but somebody decided to go out of his comfort zone to make this flick.
And like I said before, it's not even that gory.
And it did better than expected.
That's why
expected.
That's why I could never understand why it was banned, because it was nothing. As much as it was a good movie in 1974, it was nothing to write home about, like to see why it was banned. I mean, you've seen a lot worse when it comes to, I Spit in Your Grave.
Oh, God.
There's one movie that should, I could understand why maybe ban it, but why would you go to the extreme of banning the Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Was it maybe because where the inspiration came? Was it maybe the fact? I just don't see why it was banned. It doesn't make sense.
Could have been a marketing ploy.
They talked about this on that documentary too, because it was banned in Europe. Okay. And the reason is because the people that decided the ratings in Europe said that, okay, it's good for one group, but not another group. And they said, no,
but they allowed more.
And then they tried to edit it, and it's like, nope, it's impossible to edit, so we're just going to ban it. And then eventually that group of people in charge of the movie ratings eventually got replaced, and then of course it got unbanned then.
How much you want to bet that they only watched the trailer and said no from the trailer, but didn't watch the whole movie?
Right.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, too, and I said this in the chat, and Don, I've told you about this too, is that what's even more crazy is, and Tom, you make a good point also, like, how you say it's not very much of a gory film. Originally, when Texas Chainsaw was going to be released, there were actual attempts of wanting to make, because it's literally a bloodless film, they actually wanted to give it a PG rating, which would have been like the first and one of the very few slasher films to get a PG rating than a rather R.
I don't
but
even
they
think
thought, no, this is too frightening. This is too violent. We got to give this an R rating. Cannot
Did they
be
even
so
curse?
Had that occurred,
They
it could have
hardly
been
curse
viewed by millions of kids.
They didn't curse. There was no nudity. There was barely any. You saw blood.
Yeah,
sure,
but you didn't see like when they put her on the hook. You didn't. I mean, you would have expected more blood, but there was.
In the remake, they did show more detail of that.
They did, yeah.
Exactly, Tom. Exactly. Especially in the beginning when they've got the hand basically nailed down, and he's cutting around his face and everything else, and then obviously she climbs out when obviously Leatherface is away, and she you can see. She looks round and obviously skeleton face, and you just think that was when you look comparison to 1974, that's nothing.
That was like that was comparing like Mr. Rogers to, to I don't know, The Walking Dead.
Yeah. Do you know, guys, you have made me actually after this live, instead of going to sleep, which I should because it's like 3:05 in the morning, I now want to sit up and watch the 1974 version of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Here, well, this question is for you.
Yeah.
Was it the original text? I'm sure it was.
Actually, I'm not sure if it did make the video nasty list, but I know, like you said, Lois, I know it was banned in some theaters. Usually, of course, the British film censors usually are the ones to make that decision if it's going to be a video nasty or not.
That's just because they have no taste.
I said, who knows? That could have been all a marketing ploy that they were working together with them. Yeah, I mean,
and it's like when you look at this film, it's like it takes you to just a completely different time, 1974. It's like this is before we had cell phones, and this was also during the time where there was the energy crisis, where all sorts of different gas stations had some very limited fuel, and they demonstrated that right here when they were trying to refuel.
War was going on,
and Tom McNicholas gave an example. Only played in one theater, one Chicago theater when it opened and when it was released in 1974.
Again, showing that it could have been a marketing ploy because they knew eventually it was going to open up in different places, but like maybe being banned over in Europe like that so that they could say here in the States, this movie was banned in Europe and blah, 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 and then people will flock to try to find where it's being played just to watch it.
I think back in the 70s, I think back in the 70s, things were more strict.
Yeah, they were.
I mean, look, I mean, George Carlin wouldn't have came out with this, and he came out with it back in the 70s when he first did his skit, the 7 words you can't say on radio, television, shit, piss, fucking, motherfucker, tits.
Yep.
Yeah.
And let's break that down.
And that's all 7 of them, by the way.
Yeah.
I can say it faster than Carlin.
Yeah, I was just mentioning like energy crisis. There was one thing in this movie that would seem to be like immune from energy crisis, and you know what that is? Leatherface's chainsaw, because it seems to never run out of fuel.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, I mean, the only thing I could think of was he must have fueled it up before he went on that chase.
Yeah, but
that's
still,
the only reason why it would still be running like that.
But still, the tank in that would have ran out.
Yep. And also, it started on the first pull every time. I want to know what brand he had, because I've never started a chainsaw that started every time on the first pull.
It's usually like a lawnmower. Takes it several times.
See, that was. No, go ahead, Don. Go on.
Yeah, you know what's crazy here in Chicago? They do this thing on our local rock station where it's like every Friday they give out. They do this game where if you win, you get a free chainsaw. It's called Chainsaw Friday, and that's like got to be like a that's got to be like a gag prize. Like it's like I wouldn't want it because it's like I live in the city. Why would I want a chainsaw?
We also live in an apartment building.
Well, you never know. They might make film. They might make a film where somebody kills for the city instead of the outback.
You might want to start wearing other people's skin and.
Oh my God!
I have absolutely zero.
Good facial treatment for the pores. It cleans the pores out.
Yeah, I would have
Puts
zero.
the lotion on its skin. Puts the lotion on its skin.
Or else
I gotta say, I just love
that movie.
I'll answer Billy's question here. Yeah, it was an actual chainsaw for the most part that they used.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, it just didn't. It probably just didn't have a real chain on it. You know what I mean? It was probably just all smooth.
Toby Hooper once said, if you look at a lot of the interviews that
he might not have even been making the noise.
Yeah, well, Toby Hooper also he said this in a lot of horror documentaries that he appeared before he passed away himself, was that the idea of a chainsaw wielding maniac was an idea that he had. It wasn't just necessarily based on Ed Gein. It was he said he was at a hardware store at some point. I think he said it was like a Sears or something like that. And there was like this whole crowd of people like all around. He's just thinking to himself, like, you know, how the hell am I going to get out of here with all these people around? He thought, and at one point he thought to himself, like, I can only imagine if I had like a chainsaw or something and just sawed my way through all these crowds of people. So that's where part of the idea Texas Chainsaw came from.
I think much like any other horror, if you want to call them heroes, I guess. I mean, it depends on how you look at it. Like Freddy, Jason, all that. Like they're not based on any one person per se.
Yeah.
Like if it says like, you know, that they grab things from real life, they grabbed it from multiple different true stories and then and embellished on them and stuff like that. So I'm sure Leatherface wasn't just based on Ed Gein.
No,
he was probably based on multiple killers.
Yep. Kate's in the house on the chat.
Hey, Kate.
Hey, I hope you're feeling better. I hope you're feeling better.
Look, I got a Nick
It
puppet.
was a big hit when it came out.
I can't feel better.
Yeah. No, Billy. Yeah. No, they actually. No, Billy. That radio station actually does give out chainsaws every Friday. They're real.
I think that's crazy.
One other.
I want to talk about one. I wanted to discuss Gunnar Hansen's performance as Leatherface. Yeah, like he was. Oh man, he played that role so well. It's like even though he had no dialogue except for the gibberish that he in like a few scenes.
Runs, screams he makes.
Yeah.
He portrayed a psycho like totally well, and yeah, he like.
So did the other guy though. The guy that was the hitchhiker.
Oh yeah, the hitchhiker. Yes.
Yeah.
And, he was a great time of playing as well. Oh yes. Man.
I know he's still alive today. The actor who plays the hitchhiker.
He's ready.
Oh yeah.
Is that a Halloween
He reminded me a lot of the guy with the in the sequels, like with the hanger where he kept them.
Oh, that was his twin. That was the character's twin brother, Chop Top.
Really? I
It's
didn't know
played
that
by
they
Will
were supposed to be
Mosley.
twins. Yeah,
Bill Mosley.
I
yes.
knew he played him. Yeah,
That was a real chainsaw. Fucking things
Oh, yeah.
leaking all over me though.
Yes,
Well,
that's
and
right.
Don, I told you about, I was telling you about this with Gunnar Hansen. Was he explained this in an interview too, that famous last scene of the film where he does the chainsaw dance,
after he
just
cuts his
swinging that
leg.
chainsaw back and forth. He actually said at one point, this was captured on film, though you didn't actually see the reaction from it. At one point, he's swinging around using the real chainsaw, and the camera, as you know, is like kind of going around while this is happening.
Yeah.
And at one point, Toby Hooper, who was standing behind the camera, was right in front of Gunnar Hansen, and literally, he took that chainsaw and swung it, and literally went right over Toby Hooper's head. And he literally thought to himself, like after it was done, it's like I literally just almost killed our director. But surprisingly, Toby Hooper, he wasn't mad at all. He thought it was actually perfect. So he almost killed somebody with a real chainsaw.
Good God.
It would have made sales of the movie go up.
It might have. Yeah. And
a real murder happened in a horror movie.
Oh yeah. As far as Gunnar Hansen movies go, I know he's been in a lot, but there is one other movie that he was in that I saw, which was about 20 years after Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Where they paid homage to his performance as Leatherface in this really cheesy movie called Mosquito back in like 1995, I believe. Yeah, it's like
Never seen that.
It's probably for the best you hadn't. But like the whole I saw it when I was a teenager. It was like it was one of those movies they were airing like after midnight. The whole premise of it is there's an alien spaceship that crashes into a national forest, a preserve or something or other, and there's the alien corpses were being fed on by the local mosquitoes and causing the mosquitoes to mutate and grow to the size of vultures.
Wow.
And there was a scene in there. Yes, it's as ridiculous as it sounds. And there was a scene where Gunnar Hansen pulls out a chainsaw and uses that, and he uses a chainsaw to fend off the mosquitoes.
Didn't you say that he has a line for that movie too? What was it?
Yeah, got a line in that movie. Okay, actually, I'm glad you asked that. I actually have a sample of it here.
There you go.
Okay. Yep, right here. So yeah, I might as well show you guys. Here it
This
is.
is why I do not like mosquitoes.
Yeah, here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Mosquito.
Yeah, the man unmasked.
Here, let me just make sure.
Oh yeah.
Here it is.
I feel like I need to get mosquitoes.
Here, how do you mute all the my microphones? I want to make sure everybody here is
Here, I
everybody
can do it, Don. I got it.
Okay.
I'll just mute you guys just for a quick few seconds.
Okay. Here it is.
Thought it might come in handy. And I haven't handled one of these babies in 20 years. Feels good.
Yeah. Oh, and in case you guys are wondering what the mosquitoes look like, here you go.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. In case you're wondering, yeah, here you go.
I've seen this.
No.
This is cheesier than arachnophobia.
This is a Texas mosquito, right?
Do you know that kind of reminds me?
Yeah, is it?
It kind of reminds me.
Oh my God!
Oh,
What did you say?
that looks like a role where he's retired for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He's put on that much weight and he's bringing the chainsaw.
Yeah,
He's like when I used to be in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
when he introduced that to me, I also kind of suspected, because these are giant ass mosquitoes. I thought to myself, did they somehow take that as a ripoff from the movie Jumanji, because they had giant mosquitoes in that too?
Wait, I didn't see their asses to know that they were giant.
Yeah.
Did you say giant ass mosquitoes? I didn't see their asses. Did I miss that part?
Well, I think it was almost as bad as Kingdom of the Spiders.
Oh yeah, that's another. I mean, that had William Shatner in it.
Eight-legged
I remember
freaks.
that.
Yeah, the one with Shatner in it.
Well,
Oh man, but
it
yeah,
kind
like
of reminds me when
I'm sorry, Willow. Go ahead.
it kind of reminds me when I was watching Netflix and they had this. I thought, oh, I'll go on and watch one of the horror movies, and it was called Splatter, and it was on for 29 minutes. I'll never get the 29 minutes back in my life. It was like one of the corny horror movies where I just thought, oh my god, somebody's actually went out their way and made a
What was it
29-minute film. It was basically these people had to go to this, like it was like a mansion, and it was like almost like a comparison to the house in haunted house.
The house on Haunted Hill.
That's it, Tom. Sorry.
Yep.
And it was almost like that, but it was like one of the most cheesy, like what Don was saying about the Mosquito film, one of the most corniest, cheesy films. And it was, I'm sitting
I
here
used
with
to
the
watch a
jaw
lot of
dropping.
those. That's why I asked what it was.
It's just like, oh, I'll never get the 29 minutes of my life back.
Isn't it weird that with the cheesy horror films, like from the year 2000 on, every one of them you feel that same way, like, man, I am never going to get that time back. But if you see like the cheesy horror films from the 80s that have become cult classics and stuff like that, like even just say Puppet Master and stuff like that,
those are great.
like if somebody would have made that now today and it never came out before, people are like, what the hell is this? This is
If
stupid.
they made, I mean, and not only that, I mean, obviously with everybody,
I think there'd be a group of people kind of like us that would be like, "That's awesome."
for us,
But
like, but the other problem would be, unlike back in what was it? I think it was 1989 when Puppet Master came out. They used actual puppets. Today, obviously, they would have used
CGI and stuff.
People in outfits or something.
Now, I got to just bring this up what Kate just said. So about the Australian mosquitoes. I mean, are they pretty bad down there, Nikki? I think she froze.
Yeah, I think she's frozen.
I think she did too.
Oh, wait. Hang on. Is it true you get a lot of the mosquitoes down in Australia, Nikki?
Yeah, we get them a lot over here.
A driver really is excited.
Are they large?
To drive a car. He's like, I want to drive a car.
I don't know. You'd compare them to, but like,
where's that voice? What the hell is that voice?
I'm sorry, that's my son. He's got my phone.
Oh,
He just
okay.
did something.
I'm like, I'm hearing a kid's voice.
I was like,
He's over here with my phone, and I don't even know what he said. I didn't hear him because I have headphones on.
I was like, what?
Wow.
So he wanted
The Brady
to
Bunch
cut
is going
his
a
hair.
little bit crazy.
Y'all know who Patrick Bankman is?
Oh yeah.
Bateman. His haircut is based off of the haircut of the guy on American Psycho, Patrick Bateman. He asked me, "Can you cut my hair like Patrick Bateman, Mom?" So I could see like Patrick Bateman. For real. Christian Bale or whatever.
Aw.
Yeah, Christian Bale.
Yeah, Christian Bale. Yeah.
Oh, good for you.
Little
Good for
weirdos
you.
Leatherface came first, Billy.
Yeah, Halloween didn't come out until 1978.
Correct.
One other thing I got to bring up about Texas Chainsaw, and obviously, Don, this still affects me to this day from that one scene in the movie. Because once again, this goes back to what you said, Tom, about like how it's not very gory. There is one scene that does occur, which it just makes me cringe. Is that famous scene when the guy walks in, the first victim, Leatherface comes in, and he just knocks the hell out of him with the sledgehammer. That like, oh my god, it sounded nasty.
Yeah,
they kind of were foreshadowing.
He just showed up.
Oh, Jill.
Holy crap!
Hi, Jill.
Hi.
Glad to see you on here.
Well, I didn't like that.
A little bit
The only
better.
part that freaked me out the most about this whole movie was that Grandpa was actually alive when they started.
Yeah.
Blood.
Oh yeah.
And they did the
I've
same.
got to
bit
say
in, like,
that
the
freaked
second
me out
one,
as
too.
well.
Like the second
really?
one, he kind of was there dormant
Yeah,
most
but
of the time.
He has to go early, so
I just assumed he was dead because she was up there, you know, in that room, and he didn't move, and nothing happened.
Okay. Well, take care, Nikki.
Yeah, good seeing you, Nikki.
Yeah.
Oh.
Bye, Nikki.
Have a good night
Alright, guys.
or
Sorry, I have to
morning.
go. Have a good evening, everyone. See you later.
Take care, Nikki.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye, Nikki.
Morning.
But,
See you, Jill.
But yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I was looking for that response. One of our friend Hannah responded to my question about what her favorite season of Stranger Things was, and it's all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So one other thing too. This is something
she's
with
also
because it's the 80s, the best decade
ever. And she's also speaking of the 80s. She's also suggesting that we do a review covering Teen Wolf.
Teen Wolf.
Teen Wolf will be cool. Not Teen Wolf 2.
Oh yeah, I love Teen Wolf. That would be awesome.
But
the show or the movie? The movies?
Movie.
The Michael J. Fox classic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I told you last week what we should do also. Young Frankenstein.
Yeah. John Dugan. Yeah, that's what his name is. Yeah, he's still alive. I know he's still alive today. He played the actor.
You got mosquitoes to go fight.
He played the character Grandpa. He played the character Grandpa in Texas Chainsaw. And it's actually crazy to think, like, knowing who he really was in real life when they did that scene. And it's funny thing because I remember, like, when I first watched it, I thought it was like an older actor. But it turned out this was like just like a 21-year-old in heavy like makeup playing Grandpa. So
oh wow,
he essentially had a kid playing this actor.
They have
this character, not actor.
You know how often?
Hey, I played an actor in a movie, man.
Actor playing an actor.
I'm not really an actor, but I play one on TV.
I thought the MTV Teen Wolf was okay. I liked it at the time because I was young. I think the newer one that they did after that with the other characters was better and higher quality.
I liked it.
It's good. I liked it.
But the movies are better, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, the original movie was the best. I mean, the second one sucked because I'm sorry. I like Jason Bateman, but no. That whole movie sucked.
Michael
beginning
J.
to end
brought something to his role.
Yeah.
Michael
Like I can
J.
smell
Fox
what
better.
you're looking for right now.
Well, that's what happens though, Tom. In sequels and remakes, the biggest problem is they don't cast it right.
No.
No.
Now, had they cast Michael J. Fox, like if he was able to, they barely were able to cast him for the original one because that was around the time he was doing Family Ties and shit. Still, I think.
Right, he was a busy guy.
So, plus he had other projects going on too, other movies. But like, if they'd have been able to get him for the second one, and they didn't do the storyline of the cousin that comes and stays with the dad and all that, then it would have been better. But Hollywood being what it is,
no imagination, and it's getting worse.
Oh, yeah. Hannah's saying that her dad was in the party scene from Teen Wolf, and so
really,
that's really cool.
What, when they were in the pizza shop, or when they were doing 5 Minutes in Heaven or whatever it was?
Yeah.
That must have been it. Yeah.
What happened to Michael J. Fox? I didn't hear anything about it.
He's suffering Parkinson's disease.
Oh yeah, he's getting really bad with it.
Oh man,
he can't. He's like all over the place with it.
Yeah,
he
won't even appear in interviews anymore.
I'm sad about that.
Yeah, I am too.
How old is he now?
He's not that old.
I was gonna say I thought he wasn't.
I'm older than he is.
Like 60s?
No, I think I'm older than he is. I think he's younger than I am.
He's 62 years old?
Wow. Then he is older than I am.
Is he really 62 years old? How did that happen?
Well, I thought he was younger than me.
It's called aging. It's called time passing.
I know, but
yeah. I figured he was in his 60s.
And whatever happened to the chick that played his sister on Family Ties? Justine Bateman. Did she just disappear?
It's disappeared from public view, I guess.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
some of them actresses, you got to realize, some of them actresses have a harder time with fame.
Yeah,
They do.
Because they're going to get the ones that have more stalkers and more problems than male actors, so they tend to disappear. I mean, what's her name that played Baby for so long on Dirty Dancing? Jennifer Grey. She disappeared too for a while.
And then she showed up on Friends.
Right, but she needed to disappear because it got too much for her after that one role that made her an overnight sensation.
Listen, nobody puts Baby in the corner.
Right.
No, this actually, I was going to say, this comment got my attention.
Speaking of that, they're remaking Roadhouse.
Oh no!
Seriously?
Yep, I saw that.
Yeah, I seen that, and to be honest with you, I don't even like the guy that they're going to plan and putting in place. I've just never ever liked him as an actor.
Like they could have gotten Don Swayze to take the place if they're going to do something like that.
Even that wouldn't be good.
No, and it still wouldn't be good, but still, they can't remake classics like this that the actors made it an icon. Make it such an iconic movie. You had Sam Elliott and Patrick Swayze in that movie, and you ain't going to get two guys to replace them.
No.
The only way they could do any kind of saving face would be to get Sam Elliott in that one, but he's old now.
Yeah, he's too old.
It's Hannah's dad in that scene.
Really?
Oh, how cool!
Wow.
Oh wow,
That's
That's
awesome.
cool.
That's awesome.
Nice.
That's cool.
I mean,
That's really cool.
Yeah.
what I like about the Fast and Furious is the fact with Paul Walker, his death, God rest his soul. But the good thing about that was his brother gave up everything, gave up his job as a paramedic in Oregon, and moved all the way to keep his brother's legacy going.
Yeah,
and that's what I really, really liked
about
it.
And CGI hit Paul over top of him.
Well, he actually looks a lot like Paul anyways, so if they did the right camera angles and stuff, they wouldn't need a lot of CGI.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if you watch because Paul didn't completely finish the one movie and his brother stepped in the middle of it, you don't even realize which one.
Use my gun and guess what?
Definitely.
Mom, that guy just backflipped. He died. And I literally dumped him right all the way off of there.
So can I just say on the beginning of the movie, I know I missed the beginning of the podcast, but on the beginning, I totally related with the character in the van that's about the zodiac and the astrology.
Yeah, what the heck was her
I
name?
figured that was up your alley.
I would too.
Predicted where they was gonna go.
I don't remember, but if I would too, if it was like a hippie person you're talking about.
Yeah, she was.
Well, they were hippies.
Yeah, these
One
were not like
was clearly wearing bell bottoms.
Oh,
yeah, they
Yes.
were. I mean, the actors that Toby Hooper brought together. I mean, obviously they were not well-known actors. I think for most part they didn't really star in another movie other than Marilyn Burns. But they actually were like locals from Central Texas that they brought in for this movie. It was almost like a student film.
It was a low budget. They had a very small. At first, the movie went over 100,000, but at first they only had like 60,000 to work with.
Right.
Just real quick, Lois, I know I just saw your messages, Don. Unfortunately, Lois does have to leave early. So
I do have to leave early, but thank you very much, guys, for having me. It's been really, really good, and it's been well worth the lack of sleep.
I've got to say, I know it's really late out in Scotland, but thanks so much for coming out.
And now we finally got to hang out on the same live feed.
If you want to come on again another time, you're always more than welcome to.
Yes.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much, guys. You all take care and have a good night.
I'll see you.
Good
tomorrow,
night.
Lois.
Good morning.
See you later. See you. Bye. 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 Bye.
Good morning for you. Good morning.
And Mr. Sticks.
Hey,
I gotta figure out the time difference.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
3:30 in the morning there.
I gotta figure out the time difference between me and her before Thursday.
Yeah. Hey, I'm glad we
She's 6
hey,
hours ahead of me, and it's 9 here. So I don't know if it helps you or not.
We're for the most part, well, except for Jill and Tom. I mean, Tom, myself, you, and Rosie, we're all Central Standard Time, so it'd be about
I'm
3
Eastern.
o'clock our time.
Because I'm supposed to be on her
It's
show.
10:30 right now. Here.
Yeah, I'm glad that we brought Lois on. She's great.
She's awesome, right?
So it's
I'm
10:30
always
for you
popping
guys.
in.
She's gonna be 5 hours ahead of you.
Well,
I'm
aren't
always
you going to
popping
be
into
on
her
that?
live.
No, it's 9:30.
I think Nick's going to be on that one too.
Yeah, I'll be on. I'll be co-hosting that one.
Here,
Thursday, right?
Yeah, Thursday.
Yeah. So this is towards you, Jill.
Yes, big mistake. And I used to do that. I used to pick up people like no problem, but this was like early. This was like 90s people.
You have to
Girlfriend in the 90s. There's still people that got killed by serial killers doing that.
I don't know why
you
they
have
get
to remember.
killed.
I
I'm
think
glad
a lot
you're
of us,
alive still.
It's like
you have to
just
remember.
that
I think.
scene- I mean,
Go ahead,
just
Doc.
that
Go
scene alone,
ahead first.
just that scene alone makes me thankful that hitchhiking is illegal now, because it's like like over time, well, during the whole time that guy was inside that van, it became more and more apparent that he was completely unstable, psychotic. Like to the point where like went from the cutting his hand open with Franklin's knife to taking their picture and then burning it in gunpowder and then cutting Franklin's arm and then putting that symbol that in blood in the side of the van. And
It's a good
when they
picture.
got
You
that-
pay me now.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
Well, you have to remember
later on
too,
when
in
they're at the
those
gas
days-
station, and later on when they were at the gas station, why didn't that gas attendant get rid of that bloody symbol on the side?
Yeah,
When he
he's
was
like
walking-
watching. He's
He's
like
like washing the
van. Yeah, he's like washing the van, and there's like he washes the majority of it, except for that one area where the hitchhiker smeared his blood on the side of the van.
And what happened to him after that?
That hitchhiker dude?
No,
the guy who watched it.
No, I was going to mention this because it just came to mind. Where, like, he, not so much the cutting of the hand, but taking the picture and saying $2 and stuff. Yeah. And he's like, I'm not going to pay you for the picture, and then burning it.
I want my $2.
I think that that character, that part of that character was stolen later by Spike Lee and put into the movie Do the Right Thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
Well, and then there was a character in Better Off Dead that was constantly looking for $2 as well.
Yeah, but he was taking pictures and trying to sell them on the street and do the right thing.
Yeah. That's true. Billy the hitchhiker got ran over in the end.
What I was going to say, and unfortunately, I mean, this is kind of the reality of things. It wasn't just the movie, but obviously back in those days, unfortunately, even for the creepiest of hitchhikers like that was simply a part of life. Like, unless you actually lived in a city, you had no means of transportation. You're not going to find very many cabs or taxis, out in the country, especially. And we're talking, of course, also pre-Uber and Lyft days. So, that was just simply a part of life. It's not even, and it's not only just people like that were creepy that were getting picked up. There were times where so many others were risking their lives to get picked up somewhere. And unfortunately, some of them paid the ultimate price for it. I know that for a fact because I've actually seen that. Once again, I bring this show up a lot. I've seen that on a few episodes of the show I Survived. We're back in the 70s. People were offered a lift, and unfortunately, they got themselves into a horrific situation that to this day, they're still can't believe they survived their ordeals.
Well, think about how many people in that era picked up the Manson members of the Manson family.
Oh,
because that was the primary way of getting around from Barker Ranch and the other ranch that they stayed on, because they were so far out in the California countries or mountain areas that they hitchhike back and forth.
Yep.
Yeah, and then
it's actually how a lot of serial killer victims have been murdered also, is because the females were hitchhiking and the guy pretended to be all nice or whatever, and they never were seen again until they were dead.
And then you'll pick up a weird hitchhiker and he'll be in your car and he'll tell you, look, I got this idea to make money. You know how they have 6-minute abs? I'm coming out with a new one, 5-minute abs. And if you're not happy, we'll throw in the extra minute for free. There's something about Mary. Did you
I thought you were talking about a hitchhiker you actually picked up, because I've talked to some people on the side of the road. I didn't take them where they were going, except old.
But I think hitchhiking's always been illegal.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I
to
think
some
at
extent.
least
No,
in
has it?
the 70s and 80s, you know, they didn't start enforcing it more and more until later. I mean, look what happened. I mean, these guys were in Florida area getting picked up and then murdered. They picked
I
up a
think
hitchhiker by the name of Eileen Warnos or
yeah,
whatever.
Eileen Warnos.
Yeah.
Arlen. Or
Look how
Eileen.
many men she killed just by hitchhiking.
And they
Yep.
called her
Yeah.
Eileen because she had one leg shorter than the other one. That's
Uh-huh.
Oh, man. So
Yeah.
so the moral of that hitchhiker in Texas Chainsaw Massacre is don't pick up hitchhikers because they'll, you know, because and also it's crazy how Franklin seemed like the only person that was concerned about that bloody symbol that the hitchhiker carved like put on the side of the van. I mean, it's like if I
He
saw
was
that, I would,
paranoid about a lot.
yeah, but seriously, if I thought that if someone put that inside on my car, I would think that, oh my god, we're being followed by some kind of a cult. We're being targeted by a cult. We gotta get the hell out of here.
And that one dude was being a total dick. Oh, he's coming for you. I told him exactly where you live. He's
Yeah.
gonna kill you. It's like,
That was
I'd
like
have had
one of
to
the
punch
very
him out.
few comedic moments.
Just made him worse. You know, the thing about that character Franklin, the one in the wheelchair.
Yep.
After a while, because he kind of stayed in character, and he doesn't really talk like that. But that the way he talked in the movie was kind of annoying after a while.
Yeah, it was. It was. He was kind of
And
whiny.
and some of his you know, co-stars and stuff, you know, got annoyed by him staying in character for so long.
Yeah,
And I
that's
can't
true.
say all this talk about hitchhikers. I can't help but have the phrase echo in my head. Thanks for the ride, lady.
Oh, creep show too. Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, I mean, it's like the most annoying part about Franklin was that little tantrum he threw when they were looking inside their father's house. You know, like
Oh yeah,
blowing raspberries and whatnot. And I'm just like, you're
Lord.
at this point, he's just acting like a 6-year-old.
I have
Yeah.
a question on that scene. He saw that witchcraft stuff on the outside, so they don't really touch up a whole lot on that in the storyline. But is
Oh,
it just like the family is into witchcraft, or
Could
like
be,
hanging things like Blair Witch?
could be.
They did that. The whole skeletons and the stuff inside and stuff was based on what the inside of Ed Gein's house looked like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's true. The guy, what happened was, and they couldn't find, all they could find on these farmer fields or whatever they were, because they went looking for real bones.
Yeah.
And all he was finding was like chicken bones and stuff for a while, until somebody that contacted him that worked for like a vet or something told him where to go. And then so all of these were like animal bones. He went out there with a bag, and he was like a kid in a candy store for a while.
Well, it was not only just animal bones. I mean, it was later added that there actually were human bones added to this too, because apparently they said that getting real human bones were more cheaper than getting fake bones. So everything you see that's hanging up is animal and human remains that was donated basically through the consent of the family members of the deceased. They were able to use them as
or
that movie,
or Jane Doe's, John,
yeah, Jane and John Doe's,
yeah,
right.
You
And
know.
let's see. Oh
Poor
yeah, like
Jane
I
and
think the
John.
most clearly the most disturbing act of the whole film was the third act, where she's where Sally's abducted and brought into the Sawyer
The
family
mummy.
house.
the dinner, yeah.
Where we see the dinner scene with the sadistic Sawyer family,
Ugh.
and it's like, it's
And you
like,
bring up
good God.
you bring up a good point, because if you look at this movie real carefully, and again, I remember hearing Eli Roth saying this in a film, when you look at a lot of slasher films, including Texas Chainsaw stands out from a lot of them. We always see most of the time these killers just going after people and killing them, but we never really see very much a lot of like their backstory, what they do when they're not killing. Texas Chainsaw, in this case, what Eli Roth had once said is that this is basically a film very much, I mean, although it focuses on the kids first, this is still very much a film that's very much focused on the killers themselves and what they do when they're not out killing people and stuff. And it's just so disturbing and twisted in such a way. So it's like
Grave robbing.
Yeah, I mean,
Well-
we're seeing all the things that, in this case, we would have seen in a lot of slasher films that Texas Chainsaw succeeded, which was showing what these killers do when they're not out killing people.
But in that third act, as you were talking about, like they could have done away with some of the more dramatic close-up shots of her, like when she was going crazy, like,
yeah,
it's like it went on for too long, I think.
Are you so scared right now? I'm so scared right now.
Really,
Blair Witch. Yeah, I'm so scared right now.
I guess
I
that
don't
was.
know,
I guess that was just their
You're
way
right. I
of-
can do a Blair Witch.
I think that was just their way of depicting madness. Yeah.
Well, we're gonna say
You've got smoke right there. It looks even creepier with your smoke.
Oh, jeez. Wait.
Paranormal activity right there.
I was actually gonna pull a little trick on top, but it's too late now.
Yeah.
I was gonna have him stand there for a second and then just like take him off briefly, like, and that's the last we ever saw of Tom.
Never seen again.
Sorry, Don, go ahead.
Yeah, but I think that was just their way of depicting like her, like just the insanity of it all, that feeling. Yeah, like that.
It just felt like it went on too long, like the different cuts. Like they should have cut away and then showed them more, like from a perspective of a way, like them looking at her and then up close to them laughing, and then her, but it was like her and then her.
It's to give that feeling of helplessness in a way, like she
Yeah,
knows that
and
she's all
panic.
by herself in this case, and there's nobody out there that could rescue because her friends are dead. Nobody knows
Well, they're
that
all
she's
dead.
in this. Yeah, they're all dead.
She don't
Nobody
know
knows
that.
they're in the.
A couple
she's
of
in
them
the
are dinner.
She's all by herself.
That's the other sick thing, though. They don't even really touch on it, but after a while you realize it because of how they're doing things. And if you go back, because Ed Gein did this too, when they first arrived at that gas station and they're like, well, we got the best barbecue here and stuff. And then Franklin comes out and he's chewing on something. Okay.
Well, they got barbecue and they brought it out.
Right. But
Sausage.
you got to realize that's human.
Human remains. Meat.
Yeah.
Barbecue.
But they never really
When
say
you
it.
see that the second time around, you don't realize it the first time because it's so far at the beginning of the film, so you don't realize it right away. But then you start to kind of like, ew,
Not playing that scene out. There was something we knew never we did.
Hey, listen.
Can we talk about the scene where the guy got ran over though? Because that was
the
weird.
hitchhiker, right at the end.
Yep. So yeah, she jumps out the window, escaping from the Sawyer house, and hitchhiker and Leatherface are in pursuit. But then when she gets to the road, there was a truck driver. Oh my god,
that's hilarious.
Yeah,
Sorry,
but,
I had to show that. Go ahead. Go on, Don.
So there was a truck driver who just came across the scene. He accidentally runs over the hitchhiker. Then Leatherface is chasing both Sally and that truck driver. Truck driver is now helping Sally try to get away from all this insanity. Then hits Leatherface in the head with a wrench. He's lucky that Leatherface didn't take an arm off. But Leatherface goes down and cut, like the chainsaw falls on his leg and cuts it. And that truck driver just runs off like nobody knows what happened to him.
They never show what happened to him. He's not running far because he wasn't a fit man.
Yeah.
Right. And Sally gets away from another car that drives by, a pickup, and
and they don't bother to pick up the truck driver.
Yeah,
well, because he was already running off.
Yeah, I could assume that the truck driver just got doubled back after he lost Leatherface, and then got back in his truck and took off.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah.
Why didn't he just drive off in the first place when they were in the truck?
Yeah, some things like that.
They got in and they went out the passenger side.
Right.
He wasn't getting through the door. They could have just drove.
Yeah.
Leatherface was trying to saw through the door, but he doesn't understand that metal is stronger than wood, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the time when almost every vehicle was made out of metal and steel and not so much fiberglass yet.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Especially the trucks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, as far as this movie, it's left quite a legacy. You know, there's just like so much to love about it. You know, and introduced one of the greatest horror villains of all time. But also, Nick, I want to bring this up. We there was like this parody of Leatherface that I absolutely love that me and Nick had did a reaction video of. Me and Nick did this reaction video to this parody video from the Merkins, who are known for making these like these horror music video parodies, like such as the Slash Street Boys. Yeah, parody of Backstreet Boys, where it's like instead of
I've seen that.
Yeah, where it's instead of I want it that way, it's I'll kill you that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, the one that we
Tell
reacted
me
to.
why.
Yeah, the one that we reacted to. The one we reacted to was called Leatherface. It was called Leatherface Friends with No Faces, which is a parody of the music video for Friends in Low Places, a country song by Garth Brooks.
Garth Brooks. I got friends in low places. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my god.
And, here,
I got
that
friends with no
faces.
Here, Nick,
What's the rest of it though?
Hey, Nick, you think we should play that for them?
Yes.
I'm not sure. I mean,
Because I want to know the lyrics that they redid.
If you
places
play
like
the
that.
reaction video, you'll be safer.
Is that that's not copyright or anything?
No.
Give her a few seconds.
Okay.
No,
I just want to make sure because just because last time we got flagged for the clip that I showed last year.
Oh no.
Last week. Jeez, I'm having a rough day today.
No. The difference is this is a parody
Get
video.
it together, man.
Okay.
So here it is.
If you didn't get flagged for it on the YouTube channel, you'll be fine.
Okay. So here it is, guys. Friends with No Faces by the Merkins. Let's do this. Here it is.
I'm supposed to be immune, but that ain't the truth. Love wearing my blue tie and hair. Just to let you know you're not the last one to go. I was the last one to watch you gasp for air. And I heard all her sighs, some fear in her eyes. When I took her life, I'm deranged. And I roasted you, said, yummy, you'll make a step. So your flesh I'll obtain. 'Cause I got victims and I'll wear the faces. It's a risky town, 'cause I'm chasing them all away. And they'll be dismayed. Yeah, I'm real big, I wear leather faces. Think I saw them down on a daily basis. So I got no friends, 'cause I wear their faces. My dead grandma, my wheelchair mom, my kin used bones for decor. Everything ends at night. Why put up a fight and I'll throw your corpse to the floor? Yeah, I didn't mean to cut out your spleen. I just felt very threatened. Oh, I see you cry while your boyfriend died. Now I'm wearing skin. I got victims and I'll wear the faces. It's a risky town, 'cause I'm chasing them all away. And they'll be smiling. Yeah, I'm real big, I wear leather faces. Think I saw them down on a daily basis. So I got no friends, 'cause I wear their faces. 'Cause I got victims and I wear their faces. It's a risky town, 'cause I'm chasing them all away. And they'll be staying. Yeah, I'm real big, I wear leather faces. Think I saw them down on a daily basis. So I got no friends, 'cause I wear their faces.
Oh my God, my life has changed forever.
Wow.
I love the comments for what everyone's saying.
Wow.
We're not worthy. Thank you. We're not worthy.
That was something
That was
else.
so awesome.
Oh yeah, that was the Merkins who are really big on creating horror parodies out of music videos. They especially love doing parodies of the Backstreet Boys.
I've seen a couple, but not that one.
But that was good. They did a really good job with that. I liked it.
Oh,
Yeah. They got the original singers from where I'm from, actually, Oklahoma. Garth Brooks. That's even
We
funnier.
gotta play that song at least one more time when it gets to the actual 50th anniversary of that movie. We got to.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
You said that was
man.
October, right?
In October 10th, I'm actually looking right now. What
10-10.
day is it on this year? It's on
Hmm.
it's on a Thursday, but
Y'all need
still-
Jesus. Yes, we do.
Look at what Hannah just said.
That's
Y'all need
hilarious.
Jesus.
Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
Oh wait,
I need to
maybe
make them a T-shirt that says that.
Way ahead of you.
I do have one
maybe
that
she
says
said
that. It
Jesus.
says, y'all need Jesus.
maybe she said Jesus. We don't know. We can't.
Tom, I gotta ask, what the hell was with the rubber chicken?
He was
It
dancing.
was dancing.
That. I usually have one of those on, but
Way
I
ahead
put
of
the
you.
nails on, and I cannot put necklaces on with these nails. It's just like not possible. Unless it's really long and I can slip it over my
I
head.
wear two necklaces, Rosie. One for the cross and one for my emblem.
I
Yeah.
got two necklaces.
Actually,
that's a new song.
I have that and I have a ring.
Instead of I got two phones, I got two necklaces.
I got a ring too. Like, yeah, that it has two crosses on it, so technically I'm wearing three crosses. So
Yeah, mine
Holy
just
Trinity.
has like the Lord's Prayer on it. You can't see it though; it's too tiny. But the
mine
little
has-
silver things.
Oh, yeah, I got
Nice.
one of those. Yeah, I got exactly that. Only it's Bible quotes. It says, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be strong and courageous." And those are words I live by every day.
I
Yeah.
have no jewelry. I can't.
Did you get it from like there's a group of people and they all of the funds go to a housing project that houses
I think
addicts
so.
to
Yeah,
get
I
them
think
clean or
so.
whatever.
I
Yeah,
think they were
that's cool.
super-
Yeah.
So
I bought the
I
necklace
bought
from them
that.
too.
It was so by like that. I bought that knowing it was for a good cause. So
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I wear rings that look like that.
Guys,
Oh,
I
nice.
gotta say this right now. Now I got that damn song in my
I go to sleep and and dream about that video.
Hey, Nick, you're welcome.
The best part was the scene at the end where you can see out of his mask and you can
Yeah, I
see the
know.
chainsaw. And he's like, I was like, oh my gosh, it's even better. I didn't think it could get any better, but it was just like his point of view. I was like, man, that's great. That is great. I'm gonna have to watch it again and again and again just to get a laugh out of it.
Man.
Next, he did good lyrics too. Like I think Garth Brooks would even actually be the like Lincoln.
Oh,
Richmond.
yeah.
Probably would. He
He
probably
probably
sure
loved
he would.
it.
Wait a minute, Nick, get ready, right?
Oh, Papa.
Get ready for what?
So if there's videos that you want to watch again and again and again, you could go to youtube.com/This Is Tom's World, and you know
Wait a minute,
the symbol for it'll look like this,
Yep.
and you can watch those videos over and over again if you want.
This is Tom's World.
Yeah.
That's right.
Mhm.
This is
I'll
There you
check
go.
it out.
There we go.
This
Wow.
is Tom's
Oh,
Inconsistencies.
Wait, what?
what?
Wait, who wrote that?
I don't know.
Jeremy.
Oh, geez. Look what else they put into this, too. I got to show this. Eileen would be proud.
Illinois.
Illinois.
Funny.
Wow.
Oh,
wait,
here.
you know what it is? Hang on, I know. Wait, I think
Here,
I
guys.
might have found it. Oh, I guess it's not here anymore.
Oh.
That's weird.
Carl Grimes
Jeremy's
sang.
messing with you.
He sang "Jiggy Jar Jar Do."
Oh, Carl
I swear
Grimes.
to God, yes, he did.
Wow.
They made a whole like the lip sync people. What are they called? I can't remember them what the name is, but like they did a whole thing like when Nick. Oh my God, when Rick and Carl.
I was like, what?
Yeah, when Rick and Carl were trapped in that one house in that season, and it looked like Rick might die, and Carl's like yelling at him and stuff like that. Like they took those scenes and made it into a video, called it "Jiggy Jar Jar Do."
Oh, I remember that now. Yeah.
It was hysterical.
The Walking Dead.
Yep.
Yeah. Bad lip reading.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's it. Bad lip reading.
Bad lip
Oh
reading,
yeah, you know, I've watched a few of their videos. Yes, that's
Oh,
right.
they're funny as hell.
Now I remember. Yeah,
They did entire seasons of The Walking Dead, but they also did the NFL. They did politics. They touched on everything.
Yeah, they covered Star Wars. They've covered all sorts of content.
Oh yeah. The Seagull song with the Yoda.
Yeah.
What the hell is
That's
that?
right.
What?
Yeah, I swear to God, you got to go back and watch it.
Yeah.
Bad lip reading, but the more important YouTube channel is This Is Tom's World. I said it again.
You got to say at least once or twice.
Yes, that's twice. Oh man,
it's up there.
You can get feedback there.
There you go.
I can see it.
Oh, hey, there it is.
See, that's it.
And no apostrophe.
Zoom.
Wait. Let's zoom in on that. Here we go. Wait a minute. There's an apostrophe. Why is there an apostrophe there?
There is on the channel, but not in the URL.
Oh,
right.
The URL has no apostrophes, no spaces, no. So it's just youtube.com/This Is Tom's World.
Yep.
Of course I am.
Yep.
So wait, did you try asking them? There's no apostrophe.
Well, no, that's the way it is on the channel.
Yeah.
The URL has no punctuation.
Oh, that's true.
I made the URL like Christ back in 2020.
Oh man. So
what is the content?
Oh, I explore. I go into wooded areas. I go into historical areas. I find hidden history in the woods. All kinds of stuff.
That's right. This is Rosie's. I was going to say, I think this is your first time hearing about it, Rosie.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't know this character. I don't know this person. Hello, person.
Yeah, himself.
I am a character, by the way.
I'm about to know this
Of course,
person
you're
on
also
YouTube.
Pickle Tom.
Yes.
I tell you, hey, listen,
Not a
I'm like
content.
I'm like Pickle Tom, and you know you got to go check out my channel because I mean my channel's like it's really good.
Yeah, he does the best. He has the perfect Rick voice.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Pickle Tom. your content's not really that good. It's not really that interesting. You know, people don't really like watching. You know what? You need to shut up because you know you're like a little bitch and you just say things and people don't even really listen.
Tom is his own character.
Oh my god!
I can carry on whole conversations with myself. I've done it with Rick and Morty. I do it with Cheech and Chong. Like, hey man,
There's nothing wrong with that.
No,
In the
I
world we
really
live in
like
today,
Cheech
it might be
and Chong.
safer.
Yeah, because they're like really cool people. Hey man, you don't know what you're talking about, man. No, you don't.
You can catfish yourself. So
I am. Hey, sometimes I do that with Donald Trump and let's see, Donald Trump and Bill Clinton.
China.
Yeah.
oh Lord.
So, yeah,
He's
where it's
from
like this.
nearby
like,
me too.
There, where it's
I'll
like
actually be in his
yeah,
hometown this weekend.
Yeah, this is Donald J. Trump. Yep.
Little Rock,
where it's
Arkansas.
like, yeah, but it's like this is Donald J. Trump saying I'll be back in 2024 with a vengeance. My wife Hillary begs to differ. Nobody's talking to you, Bill. Why don't you go home and practice your trombone? It's a saxophone, you dummy.
Oh my God! I was looking around trying to figure out who was doing that.
Yeah, we
I was like,
got
whoa,
some
who's-
characters, you know.
I've got quite a few.
Skeletor. Can anybody do Skeletor?
There is one more I know he does.
Want to hear Pennywise?
What?
Yeah.
Pennywise? Like what? Yeah, where it's like, oh, you Georgie. Would you like to float down here?
Well, let's not forget one other one that I enjoyed, Don, is that you do Herbert from Family Guy too.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes if I was playing Call of Duty, like my friends were like, back in high school, my friends were like, hey, Don, can you pretend like you're Herbert in the game and you're hunting us down? And I'm just like, I know you're close by. I don't need to bid in that dungeon. I can smell you from a mile away.
I got some nice popsicles for you in my basement.
It's like so creepy and so funny at the same time. It's so creepy and so damn funny.
There were these two fellers.
I guess.
They were
It's
going
so
to bed
dead
on
on.
the bridge. One feller says the water's cold. The other feller says the water's deep. I believe the one feller come from Arkansas. Get it?
Probably did.
I like him. He's
go
kind of
to
funny
every
to
day.
me.
Oh my God! Wait! I need to
today,
go with what Kate just said. Minecraft session. You're doing it.
Okay. If I had to say one response, it'd be, oh, jackpot.
It's disturbing.
Guys. Real.
And I thought I was weird.
That's just one of like 50 or so voices I have.
Welcome to the club.
I've had voices that I lost over the years due to smoking, drinking, and just growing up.
You still got your Rick and Morty voice. I
kind of got him down a little bit. I mean,
I
think it sounds all right.
To sound like Rick. I mean, he's always drunk all the time.
Wait, what the hell are you trying to say?
You shouldn't be saying that kind of stuff about Rick. He doesn't really like it much.
You know what?
I bet you
don't
can
need
do
you to
Scruff
fight my
McGrath.
battles for me. You just need to shut up and slow your roll, jabroni.
Real quick before we get off, there actually something I just want to present real quick since Lauren's watching. She just made another one of her paintings. Of course, I know it's been kind of a trademark of us of showing her newest work. She made this.
It's a painting of This Is Tom's World.
Let's see.
Check this out.
Ooh. Wow.
It's like 3D.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It is a 3D painting. She recycled with bottle caps.
Oh, it actually. Oh, okay. Cool.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a flat painting. I was going to say, damn, that's really cool.
It's like, I don't know why, but Tom also gives me a young Michael J. Fox vibe. Anyone else?
But when I do Morty, well, I mean, there is some substance to that because Rick and Morty are supposed to be Doc and Marty.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's
how they started off. So he kind of sounded a little bit like Marty McFly, but kind of a little more bitchy.
And then Doc was a little more rustic, and he drank a little bit.
Nice. So to wrap this up, if you haven't seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre, definitely see it. One of the biggest classics of all time. It's disturbing, probably not for the faint of heart, probably. But
it's still a terrifying movie.
Oh, yes. So,
I just got one final thing to say, and this is just something to kind of let newcomers know. This is something I actually wanted to say earlier about Texas Chainsaw. Like when I told you about that nasty scene again with the head swinging, with the guys with Leatherface swinging the mallet on his head. That entire scene, obviously, like right afterwards, when he slams the door, you hear this type sound. What I also love about Texas Chainsaw, and again, this goes to, again, being a bloodless film, is like, unlike what you see with a lot of movies today, in those days, first off, that guy is definitely gone, but I guess you can kind of say the relatively cool thing about this movie is that all this supposedly bloody stuff, you don't really see most of that stuff. It happens behind closed doors. So yes, Tom, your mind plays what happens, and that's just something you don't really see with a lot of horror films anymore.
No, and that's the way a lot of the old films were. Like it was more in what you didn't see.
About Texas Chainsaw, and it still should be viewed that way.
Yeah.
All right.
Although I love gory movies, though.
Yeah, so do
where
I.
They show it all. They're awesome. But the movies
awesome.
where you got to play it out in your head are far worse than anything they can come up with.
And that's sometimes
Still
makes
not
it
the worst
worse.
movie I've ever seen.
What's that?
As far as a fear factor goes on these movies, to me it didn't freak me out as much as the one that freaked me out the most. And I thought of another one besides Videodrome.
Videodrome, yes.
That was a good one.
But there is one there is one horror flick that made me cringe and probably made every man in the United States cringe when they saw it. I
The
spit
Lorena
on
Bobbitt story?
No, I spit on your grave.
Yeah.
The very first one.
Yeah, that's pretty hardcore.
The original.
Yeah, that's a movie I'll never watch again. That was sickening.
Man.
There were some
All
good
right.
ones.
Well, guys, we got to wrap this up. So, for those of you who are new watching this, hope you guys enjoyed. Hit the like button and subscribe to all of us. Subscribe to everything.
But mainly, this is Tom's world.
Yes.
Right down here.
There we go. So, hope you guys enjoyed. And be sure to tune in next week when I've already just decided what movie we're covering. I decided since we were all been talking about how much we're freaked out by spiders. So, I thought, here's one thing we could cover.
Arachnophobia.
Yep, that's what I figured.
Yes, I love that movie.
All right.
That's what I was thinking
John
about.
Goodman.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
So, have a good night, everybody. And we'll see you guys next week.
Good night.
Night.
See ya.